again. Hey, my Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm feeling the Patsy and the Adina within me today for you all. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons. Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, feeling absolutely fabulous. The Archangel of Lyons, Angelo, Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Sweetie, just call me Mal, shall we? We are doing a 12-card spread here, work, career, vocation, based on the 3 levels of power as defined by Caroline Myss, M-Y-S-S. This is her deck, the Caroline Myss Archetype cards. And I've got a kitty over here. Hey, Saggers, what's up? Come here. You want to come up? No? You just going to ignore me? He's a Cancer. Come on. Just looking at me. You're not going to be on camera. Go lay down. All right. Oh, you sweetie toddler. French Vogue, English Vogue, bloody Syrian, bloody Vogue, darling. All right. So yeah, Caroline Myss, 3 levels of power. There's a link in the description box to a YouTube video if you want to catch more, learn a little bit more about the 3 levels of power. The best way she explained it, that I caught the ball on that one, was eau de toilette cologne perfume. I have a background in aromatherapy and I'm a potion witch, so I know the difference. Perfume is the full-on thing, like essential oil. If you want to go there, cut it with alcohol, it's cologne. Cut it with water, it's eau de toilette, eau l'eau being the French word for water. So work, career, vocation, work, your survival, right? The physical level of power, the literal level of power, physical power. The heart, third eye crown, the personal level of power, right? What's going on the outside, the yang is the first. What's going on the inside, the yin, is the feminine, the personal, emotional. Well, think about emotional power, will power, choices, decisions, mental power, and that touch of spiritual power in the crown. And then your vocation, your spiritual calling, the 8th chakra. So it's literal, personal, symbolic, right? The outer, the inner, the upper, if you want to go there. You'll see. So we're going to get 3 of these, 1 for each, to represent the symbolic archetypal pattern going on in your work, career, vocation, or if you like, the 8th chakra of the entity that is your work, the entity that is your career, and the entity that is your vocation that you interact with every single day. Then we'll get 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot to look at that heart, throat, third eye crown in each. So 1, 2, 3. What's going on inside of you, your personal experience. We'll get 3 mythic tarot there to look at the outer, the yang, what this looks like from the outside looking in at you, or some aspect of you seeing what's around you. It is a general read. You'll know what that is. And new to the spread this time around, we're adding 3 healing mantra deck cards from Matt Kahn. I love this deck. Really, really good stuff. Been helping me a lot ever since I got them. My clients adore them. Oh, and if you want to book me for reading, it's so simple. You can email me at drawingthecircle@gmail.com. But I have to tell you, there's so much spam that comes in. If you're a first timer like that, it's just not great. I have to like search through hundreds of spam things every day to find people who are actually trying to reach out to me. So the easiest is Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook Messenger. Really, those are the 3 social media platforms. Everybody wants me to TikTok. I ain't got no time to TikTok right now. Also, because I'm going to Saratoga this weekend for Father's Day to see my parents and get my J&J in the arm, if you know what I'm talking about. I got a grapevine pentacle here. I'm going to tell them, you put that right in the center of that pentacle. So if they hurt me deliberately, put a little fear of the gods in them, right? Why not? Why not? I'm a top. I don't like being penetrated, even under protest. So, yeah, but I want to get out and work in the world again, so that's fine. You know, all that I can ask from anybody watching any of my readings is keep in mind it's general. Check your other signs, because sometimes one really, your leverage is in work, sometimes it's in career, sometimes it's in vocation. But also both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can about your work, career, vocation. I only have Neptune in Scorpio, so that does not count for me in this reading. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, right? So that's Generation X. We're not all that way, but a lot of us are. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Let's do this gig. Please take a nice deep breath. Waiting to inhale. here we go. Busy morning of prayer and meditation, Course in Miracles, and all that kind of sort of what, Sabbers, and a cat. You know what? Let me take care of him. I'll be right back. Go on, sweetheart. Go do. Oh. You know, as soon as I went to turn off the camera, he walked away. Cancerians. All right, one more time. Breathe. I'm a good mama. I'm a good cat mama. Here we go. My collective pantheons. Here we go. Of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of work, career, and vocation, life purpose, and the higher selves of all involved. Please. 3 cards to represent the dynamic of archetypal power being alchemized from lead to gold, shadow to light, toxic to healing. For the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on in their work? Lower 3 chakras, survival, intuition, physical power, how they navigate through the world in their work. In their career, heart, throat, third eye, crown, personal level of power, creative intuition, right? What lights them up, their emotional thirst, their mental hunger, right? And their choices and decisions of how to balance all of that, of course. And please, what's going on in their vocation, their spiritual calling, the star that calls them forward to grow and evolve and serve in some way, shape, or form. Because all of these are about service, right? Work, career, vocation. And to keep in mind, not everybody gets paid work. I don't. I get paid career, right? My work is as a president of a company, and I don't pay myself. Right? It all goes into the company, and the company pays my bills, right? That's just how that's been working. So, you know, it's a lot behind the scenes I don't get paid for. And my spiritual calling is as a mystic. So I've managed in this life to get them all in one thing, right? Bring them in alignment. So when something hits that 8th chakra, it's got pretty much a clear path all the way down into the root to manifest. And that's what we're looking at. So you already know what these archetypes are because I put them in the title, but I don't know yet. Isn't that weird how time works? The healer, the prostitute, and the vampire. Well, a healer and a prostitute bump into a vampire. Sweetie, darling. Wow. Okay. Now let's unpack this. The healer archetype. It's good to have it in that place. That's a really good place. So if you are a professional healer, you know, Reiki, Shmeiki, Eggs and Bakey, chiropractor, acupuncture, counselor, even if you're just a healer to the people in your world, if it's not professional, this is, you could say, the major arcana of the healing family of archetypes. There are 9 families. This is one of them. Just want to get this out of the way. The prostitute archetype is a survival family archetype. These 4 archetypes that make up this family, everybody has. They are the trunk of the archetypal tree. So if the 4 survival archetypes are balanced and healthy, then all of the other archetypal patterns that you came into this life to learn and grow and alchemize are just healthier. The prostitute is a tricky one because people think it's about sex, and it's not. I mean, it can be, but it's really about faith, and we'll talk about that. And then you got the vampire archetype in the best place if you're going to get it, which is the 8th chakra, the star center. It's like a vampire on the sun, right? This is healing fast in you, and you may very well be dealing with some toxic people with the healer, right? So I can see this gestalt. Just don't compromise yourself. Do not compromise the power of your spirit for comfort, because there's discomfort in here. I can feel it already. So let me read you what's on this card. The healer archetype, now there's shadow and light. As beautiful as the healer sounds, is as toxic as the shadow is, and as scary and toxic as the vampire is as brilliant, right, as it is in its light. So the healer archetype, the shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who need help, fucking nightmare, and failing to care for oneself, and that's what leads to being a wounded healer. And I don't necessarily, let me not say the wounded healer, that's a whole other archetype. That's Chiron. That's a whole other vibe. The unhealed healer. There's a whole lot of that going on in the world, right? The spiritual ego takes over. You think you know better. And one can certainly lead to the other, right? Failing to take care of oneself. You can end up taking advantage of those who need help. The light attribute, passion to serve others, by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. So even if you don't consider yourself a healer in the world, that's the power that's being alchemized in your work, in your career. The prostitute archetype, as I said, everyone has this one, and I will tell you, when I am given I was just given a big prostitute test this past month, in terms of somebody changed the game on me professionally in terms of my career, about a month ago maybe now, and it hit me so strong in the solar plexus that it's like, this is a violation. This person isn't my enemy, but I realized we are not friends, right? And it devastated me for a day or two. Got the clarity, the bait and switch that they did, and said, you're out. Blessed be. Don't come back unless you come back correct, right? Essentially was the message, right? So I didn't prostitute myself. I could have really jumped through hoops and people pleased and, oh, just let it go. No. The shadow attribute places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Oh, look, I've had past lives as prostitute, not in this life. Oh, no, mother wouldn't have it. And I feel like this person was a past life John. And now they're the prostitute. It's like, live and learn. Karma is, after all, a witch. The light attribute, the alchemy that's available to you here, and really if you've got the healer there, but you may be dealing with a vampire. Overall, the light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Praise the gods. I've been experiencing that a lot since. In fact, one of my students who hadn't read my book, Words of Grace, read it because she was struggling with prayer, and it's really not just a book of prayer, it's a book of how to pray, and it's all literally in my voice. And because she knows me as a teacher, she said the coolest thing she could have said. She goes, I hear your voice in my head while I'm reading it. I'm like, psychic audiobook. I'm so down for that. So I don't know that would have happened if I had kept going, if I had kept feeding what very well might have been a vampiric situation, although I have no planets in Scorpio, and I don't know that this other person does. Let's talk about that vampire archetype. I have a whole video on my YouTube channel. It used to be like $10 on Vimeo. It was so important last year because people were living with their vampires trapped in the house. Can't get those curtains open at daylight to burn them up. So I took it down off Vimeo and I put it on YouTube. It's a 2-hour lecture called Vampires and Witches, and I recommend it. And I would love to redo that. I've learned so much since. I think I did that 2018. So the shadow attribute of the vampire, depleting others for psychic survival, chronic complaining and codependency. And look, codependency is one of the 4 ego wounds, according to Matt Kahn. So whatever clarifies this will actually, that'll be the last card down of these 12. There's abuse, neglect, codependency, and loss, right? Now, abuse, we've all been abused, and if you haven't, blessed be, that's great, but that's really more the masculine part of it. Neglect is definitely the feminine part of it, right? Because there's no action, like ghosting, right? A good example. Codependence is a form of addiction that is really about not following your dreams and blaming it on somebody else, right? There's so many ways it can manifest, but let me tell you, it's as lethal as any other addiction, though it may not take you out of the game physically. I mean, it could, I guess. It destroys relationships. It destroys self-worth. It really destroys your trust in yourself. So to see the light, what does it take for a vampire to even look in the mirror? They can't see it. So I've learned not to, I'll call somebody out on codependence, like, you are so codependent, you can't find your asshole with both hands and a map and a compass and a pendulum. Right? So I call out vampires. No. Honey, I'm all Buffy Van Helsing on that shit, which is the light attribute. Makes you aware that something or someone is draining your life force. So it's all about choices, and that's why I feel like this is really quite connected. If there is somebody in your life chronically complaining, that's my first sign. That is my first hint. It's like, trying to help somebody, like, we try this, no, it won't work. It's like they don't want to heal, they'd rather suck off you horizontally because they can't quite connect vertically, if you get me, particularly with that 8th chakra. Very, very powerful. Let's keep going. Right? They bite you on the neck, which is they don't want you to make choices. Like, you can't leave. If you leave, I'll die. Do you know how many times I've said, then die? We're immortal souls. Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, I'm compassionate as fuck, but don't come from my neck. Because I got a nice one. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, we are so off to the fucking races here. It's such a Scorpio read already. The prostitute and the vampire. Good thing that healer's on the table. All right, let's have fun with this. My goddesses of water and the sign of Scorpio, please. 3 cards here to clarify the heart, throat, third eye, crown stuff. They've got the healer in their work, right? Their physical survival, their survival intuition. This is probably going to really clarify this prostitute because we're talking about choices and decisions here. Have you been bitten? Are you biting, right? That could go either way. So please, what does this look like? Their heart, their third eye, crown, and their career, their creative intuition, right? It's like you want to follow your dream. This is what I feel like. You really, really, really want to, like, do your thing. Follow your star. But if I do that, they might leave, or they might like it, or vice versa. They're trying to control you because they're so, like, you know, a vampire doesn't want to let go of their blood bag. Right, so if you want to move on, and I don't know that, I'm not feeling a romantic sexual vibe here, but I think the toxicity of the well-meaning sometimes, right? Well, if you take that risk, what about money? And, you know, they're draining you. So what's going on with that vampire there, please? This should be a hot one. Vocation, their visionary intuition. Let's see who we've got. Well, the good thing is that this is in your field of choice to do something about, I mean, obviously, but let's look at these one at a time. You got the healer archetype with the 9 of Cups. Now, 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment, blah, 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 but this is Kuan Yin. This is about really being at peace within yourself emotionally and your happiness being a natural state of being. Well, that's true. Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. Joy is our natural state of being, but it's all that conditioning. And how often are we here now so that there's this line from Course in Miracles, I will be still an instant and go home. And it doesn't mean like your address. It means like home. Right? Pulling the energy from the mind here. And there is a healing here for you in that. And I feel like as a healer, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. That's so Kuan Yin. Obviously, Chinese goddess or bodhisattva, depends on who you read on that one, of contentment and compassion. Well, isn't that just it? Going with the flow inside of yourself. Now, I'm going to say to a vampire, you look like a blood bag. Oh my God. So, look, when I cough in a reading, because I don't really cough that much, although that was a nice hearty laugh, I have to say. I think that might have been my first hard laugh of the day. You know, the more that you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, it's healing you. It's taking care of you emotionally so that this person won't be able really to manipulate you if you are dealing with not just a vampire in your life, but maybe that is your spiritual calling. Vampire hunter. And if you think about it, every vampire hunter had to be a vampire archetypally. Go watch the video, Witches and Vampires and Witches. If I can remember, I'll put it in the comments below. So the prostitute archetype, you got the 2 of Flames here. Mahuea. It's like, it's not that you don't know what you want. You just don't know what to do about it. Because it might be, well, but, yeah, but, I don't know. Or you are at a crossroads. 2 of Flames is certainly an indecision card because decision is third chakra. Willpower, choices, and decisions. What do you do when your head says no and your heart says yes, or vice versa, right? You get torn in half. And that's when we go into addiction, by the way, because we will make a repetitive choice that we are so sure we know the outcome of. right? It's consistent. We're looking for that consistency. Meanwhile, if you can really listen to your, not just to your heart on this, but to your wisdom, and get that only I can make this decision. Although this is a 2 of flames, it's not so much like the Lover's card. It's not that major arcana. This might seem like a little simple thing, but I feel like it bringing your career, whatever this is, you're afraid, and that's fine. Being afraid is no sin. Just understand that's not your soul. That's the conditioning and stuff you've picked up. Right? Like being bitten by a vampire, right? It's like a part of you is undead until you really get, no, I have to take my power back. When I first started learning about this, I was getting a manicure at Oliver West Apothecary in Sayville, New York. And I was talking about the prostitute archetype. And I said, oh, this town is full of prostitutes. The owner, Stephanie of Virgo, I love her. She was like, oh, who? And I told her what I meant. I was like, how many people are married because of the house and they're miserable? She's like, oh yeah, this town is packed with them, right? So, how you compromise your integrity for comfort, material consideration, or just to keep the peace. Particularly if you're dealing with vampires here. You got the Cancerian card. Now look, I don't read court cards as specific sun signs, right? Well, I mean, it is the Cancer card. It says it right on there. Namu, the mermaid, right? The mother of cups, Cancer. So this would be the King of Cups. The King of Cups in traditional tarot. But that doesn't mean you're dealing with a Cancer. This does mean, however, that there is cardinal water going on in your heart, third eye crown, that the creativity you need here is not here. It's here. It is here. Now, here's the thing. There are a couple of ways, and this is in the video, that I've learned to deal with vampiric energy, parasitic energy. First of all, carry a clove of garlic. I want someone to make garlic earrings, right? So I can wear them right by my neck as a warning. I love garlic. But one of them is pop the tick. It's like, oh, you're going to try and drain me. I pull back. I go into prayer, I draw down Archangel Uriel, and we blast the crap out of them with Emerald Flame. Look it up. Set them on fire! You can't drain the sun, right? You can't drink the ocean. So is that what this is? Cardinal water, creative water. So yeah, look, and let me be clear about something. Any archetype, aside from the 4 survival archetypes, those are for a lifetime. Everybody has those all lifelong. But every other archetype you have for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Eau de toilette, cologne, and perfume. And just because you have it here doesn't mean you have it for a lifetime. Maybe you're dealing with it in this lifetime at the moment for a reason or a season. But everybody drains people, right? Everybody has parasitic vampiric moments, but remember, how is a vampire made? They're bitten by a vampire, and often that pattern of codependency, almost always the patterns of codependency are learned from parentage. And 1,000 years ago, obviously the term didn't exist, but you want to go back even further, hunter-gatherer, right? Agricultural life, living on farms. It's like, screw your dreams. We've got to get the harvest in. Right? So that was true dependency for survival. We're not there anymore. So your heart's desires are key here. Play your cards close to your chest. Absolutely. I was raised by a Cancerian mother. I'm not going to say she's sneaky. But there's always a hidden part there, right? Playing, like, oh, well... right? Like a shell and claws, right? Can be very defensive with that stuff. Is the King of Cups in traditional tarot. But that's feeling really more about your emotional connection, your creative energy in terms of taking in inspiration, bringing it from your vocation into your career, and maybe manifesting it in work. I feel like this is obviously going to heal itself in the physical world if you really tap into how you really feel about this. And Scorpios, you're Scorpios. No one needs to know, right? Until you're ready to tell them, if ever. What's this look like on the outer? Please take a nice deep breath. Well, you can never have too many hats, gloves, and shoes. Please, my beloved gods of water in the sign of Scorpio, Poseidon, and Hades, who share the throne, please, with 3 cards in clarity for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, and vocation, June and July 2021. I always do these 2 months at a time. What does this look like from the outside looking in at them, or some aspect of them looking at the outside world to help them pinpoint this? What's going on here? We got the healer archetype with Kuan Yin on the inner. What's that look like on the outer? The prostitute with the 2 of flames, Mahueha, in work, career, vocation. What's that look like? And really, what really makes this such a turned party here is that vampire, but maybe a vampire trying to drain the ocean. What does that look like on the outer, please? In their vocation, I'm going to say whatever your spirituality is, whatever your mystical connection is, your spiritual calling, because everybody got one. That's what's going to make you undrainable. This looks like on the outside. Oh, wow. You already got mirroring cards. I'll get there. You have got, like I said, the healer archetype, right? That transforming pain into peace, whatever kind of way that is, by you really being, right, at peace, feeling good, giving yourself the love that only you can give you, with the Ace of Wands and new opportunities coming in, and it's challenging some kind of relationship in your life, and maybe many relationships. In fact, I know entire families of vampires, right? I can feel it when I walk in the house, right? And I tend not to go back, and if I do go back, I've got an ash stake in the trunk of my car. I've got ashes in my car. Just take a cigarette. The prostitute archetype with this right? 9 of Swords. You are trying to think your way through this, and it's not going to work. 9 of Swords is that sleepless nights. You've been bitten. You've been bitten. I don't feel like you're the vampire with that. I feel like you have to be bitten with that one, because your throat chakra, your indecision. Well, if I make that decision, I don't want to hurt them. Well, chances are you're not going to hurt them. You're going to heal them. Healer archetype. You're going to have to speak your truth on this one. I think that's what that rather wet cough was before. And here is the mirror card, the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Flames. So from the outside looking in, this indecision is apparent. Now, just to say, this is Jason of Jason and the Argonauts, Quest for the Golden Fleece. Chiron, the wounded healer, who I mentioned before, actually, is in the cave there. And he's deciding, do I take the quest or not? You know, life is a hero's journey. Go check out Joseph Campbell. I think he has a special on Netflix. He's dead, but, you know, he's one of my spirit guides, apparently. And, you know, the hero always denies the call at first, right? Like, even if you read Dracula, right? Nobody catches on right away. It's not like, well, you invite them in, right? Of course, if you had known better. So I get, you know, once bitten, twice shy. But with this 9 of Swords, you're trying to outthink it. And you can't. This is a thing of the heart, not of the mind alone. Now, the mind can give you coordinates. That's what I'm saying. Educate yourself on the vampire archetype. I learned most of it from Carolyn Myss, and then I just saw it in my life. My father was a vampire archetype. His mother was a vampire archetype. Codependent. I mean, real toxic, crazy shit went on. And of course, you inherit that growing up. But once I caught on that I was a vampire, like I started reading tarot at age 12, but I got into a heavy meditation practice like in my freshman year of high school, right? To start undoing that, because my father's toxicity was so huge. And yesterday was his birthday, Flag Day, June 14th, just like Donald Trump. Let's see what your healing mantras are for this, because really, if you can just decide for love, like, I am going to follow my heart, and if it hurts this person, it hurts this person, but it's really going to help them heal. You can hold up a mirror to a vampire. They're not going to see it. The only thing you can, well, watch the video, you know, throw them out in the sunlight, which is truth. right? Like the Sun card. Blast them with so much happiness that they'll explode. That's just one way of doing it. Please take a nice deep breath. And by the way, according to Terry Pratchett, a wooden stake doesn't just work on vampires, and after you slay the vampires, you got more for others if necessary. That's a really bad paraphrase. Carpe jugulum. Carpe jugulum, if you ask me. Breathe. Everything I needed to know about witchcraft that I really needed to know I learned from Terry Pratchett novels, particularly the Tiffany Aching series. But yeah, go read Carpe Jugulum. J-U, like the jugular. Please breathe. Well, I'm having fun with this because it ain't my read. Please, my ascended masters of work, career, vocation, life force, manifested in 3 levels of power, right? Life mission, life purpose. What are the 3 healing mantras for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading? Please, I got the healer in their work, right, with the 9 of Cups and the Ace of Wands, and I can feel that impulse, right, to help heal, to heal the world, to heal myself, to just heal, and maybe you really want to heal some of these vampires in your life, because if you're going to look for a wooden stake, I don't know, Zeus holding the Ace of Wands, I think that's pretty on the nose. And you know, there are healthy dependencies. Like if there's somebody in your life who is literally physically ill and they depend upon you to do stuff, that's fine as a healer. The boundaries are clear, right? But if they're trying to shoot your dreams in the foot so that they're controlling you, you're under a thrall. It's different. Witches cast spells, vampires cast thralls. Over thralls. What is their perfect healing mantra for this? Please, my beloved Ascended Masters, not gonna look. The Prostitute archetype in their career. And this is the thing. There's absolutely something in a passion that you want to do, right? But you're juggling it because of this codependent, vampiric pattern that might be you've dealt with in other areas other than your work, career, vocation, although this could be a member of your family or a lover or a friend who doesn't want you to move on, or maybe a business partner or something like that. What's their perfect healing mantra, right? Prostitute with 2 of Flames on the inner, 9 of Swords on the outer, please, right? And the vampire archetype that they are alchemizing from lead to gold here in their vocation, their spiritual calling, with the Mother of Cups, the Cancerian card on the inner, and 2 of Wands on the outer. So really, this is a spiritual decision that you are going to make here and then work it down through here so this healing can happen. So what is their perfect healing mantra for the Scorps there? Last card down. Ooh. Okay. All right. This does make sense. Okay. So the mantra that you got, right? You got the healer, Kuan Yin on the inner, Ace of Wands on the outer, and then you got 2 more wands, so your 2 next steps are inner and then higher up. Allowing appreciation. I've gotten this mantra twice for myself this week. The value of my life increases each time I appreciate everything in it. And I think, and it even, I'm not going to read the bookie book for these readings are long enough. But it does say the value of your life is not really dependent upon what's going on around you. It's about the values that you assign to things. And that's why it's called allowing appreciation. It's like, wow, I actually kind of like that I have options, that I have this new thing coming in, and that I feel really good about it, right? Even lower 3 chakras, it's like, no, this feels good. This feels congruent. This feels like something I want to do. And I think it's healing me and giving me an opportunity to heal. So as a spiritual exercise, I'm a spiritual teacher, obviously. Duh, my mom's a teacher. It's inherited. Check out, if you're into it, Abraham Hicks' Rampage of Appreciation. It's a good exercise. I learned something different from the Ashaya monks many years ago called the Upward Spiral. Praise, gratitude, and love. We all want to feel love, but it's hard to just go there right away, which is definitely indicated here, that love. So under love is gratitude, but gratitude has to be authentic for you to feel it. Oh, great, thanks, is not going to work. I'm from New York. That doesn't work, trust me. So you start with praise, which is the open door to the upward spiral. But praise, what we call it, is like. Oh, I like that. You can use the word appreciate. Praise, appreciate, play with the language. But if you start slow, it's like, I like coffee, I like tea, I like the boys and the boys like me, right? And like even that, because that's true, right? And just be honest with yourself. That might really get you into a rampage of appreciation where you move up into like authentic gratitude. And then, right? So praise, gratitude, love. Wow, I never saw that before. And I've been doing work, career, vocation reads for decades. The prostitute archetype with the two of flames with this 9 of swords going on. You've got greeting, wellness, balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. So looking at this, you got fire and air. Where's your water and earth? Right, where's your water? If you know what movie that is from, comment below. So where's your water? So the miracles that you are looking for here is about not negotiating away your truth, what feels right to you, that you have to make the choice that resonates with your soul, because the ego, and the ego's not evil, it can be vampiric, but the ego is the part of the soul that is most dormant. It is the egg of the egg, caterpillar, cocoon, and butterfly. So it has to go through the death, and it's fighting off that death, that cocoon part, right? As well as you could see the caterpillar as being a little eat everything in sight. I grow fennel every year for the butterflies, and they chew that thing down, and then they go and they cocoon, and then it grows, and then the next batch comes. I have like butterfly central here. Oh, and I'm getting a butterfly bush when I go up to Saratoga. I'm such a gardener. So greeting wellness is about taking care of your physical body, taking care of your emotional body, your mental body, bringing it into holistic symbiosis, and that is a healer thing. You know, holistic health, back in the day when the term was coined, it wasn't about arnica cream. It wasn't about rescue remedy for everything, right? It's about bringing all of these chakras into alignment. And this is going to heal your work in the world no matter what you do. But get whatever your career is, what is a miracle if not something that defies natural law? Parting of the waves, water to wine, you know, pick it, manna from heaven. I'm giving you a lot of Old Testament there. Well, New Testament, water into wine. Walking on water, which is much easier when, you know, frozen. Just saying. Didn't happen much in Jerusalem, I'm guessing. The vampire archetype, when you hear this, the vampire archetype, right, with the maid, the Mother of Cups, the Cancerian card with this decision, and it's a spiritual decision. This is about, do I follow what I know to be the truth of my own spirit, of my own power, so I don't compromise it here? Well, you've got rewiring the nervous system. I find strength in surviving my traumas. There is a traumatic experience here, and I have a feeling this is about your spirituality. This could very much be about, okay, this could be for some of you. It's like, I'm really, really good at reading cards, or I'm really, really good at something that people would consider odd or weird or maybe even evil, and you know better. And you might have, you know, devil child. I heard that a lot growing up. I got over it. My gods, my angels have told me that, no, you're an archangel, honey. People just can't see that. I mean, my name is the Archangel of Lyons. The Archangel of Lyons. So rewiring the nervous system, I find strength in surviving my traumas. This also does say that if there is a codependent pattern affecting you, it really did have to do with religion or spirituality or God not loving you. Like, okay, I came out of the closet in 1984. I know I've been gay longer than some of you have been alive. But I was a junior in high school at the time, right? So, you know, that wasn't the best time to come out, but I couldn't prostitute myself that way. I couldn't hide anymore. I mean, my God, it was the 80s. I was wearing more makeup than Prince and Boy George put together. How did they not know? They knew. But it might be that kind of thing, like the traumas from the past that weren't just like physical traumas, although there might have been, not just mental, emotional traumas, although there might have been. What is a spiritual trauma? What is a spiritual trauma? Now here's the thing, and you're not going to like this. Nobody's gonna. It's just the way it is. All of the trauma that we have experienced in any lifetime was written into the character that we play. We are the immortal, eternal soul that comes in to play the role in order to heal those traumas. And that's what's going on here. And you might find yourself looking back and appreciating all of that as you heal it, going, couldn't have happened any other way. Let me put it together for you. Please take a nice deep breath. My collective pantheons of the divine. May the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, June and July 2021, that they may rediscover their passion or embrace their passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, an ability to help those, ability to help transform pain into healing. Yes, for themselves. With this Nine of Cups, the energy is there to do that, and they can really move forward and take this new opportunity that lights them up and excites them, allowing themselves to appreciate as they go, because the value of their life increases every time they appreciate everything in it, down to, ooh, that was really good coffee, to the hills being alive with the sound of mucus, so that in their career they can accentuate the challenge that they are in, of surviving, maybe even emotionally, mentally, psychologically surviving, without negotiating the power of their spirit, which is the internal choice they have to make, and they only have to do this one choice at a time, so that their minds can calm down, so that they can move through this Nine of Swords to that Ten of Swords, the mental resolution, seeing all the pieces of the puzzle on the table, while they greet wellness, balance being the key to a life of infinite miracles, to get their head and their heart in congruency by making the choice perhaps to be higher selfish. Because one thing that we know vampires will do, will turn around on you and make you the bad guy because you're doing something that scares them. Right, so that they can really come into congruency and say, I love you, but I am doing this. It's not about you this time. You know, bringing yourself into balance, creating infinite miracles, dealing with this vampire archetype that they must have been bitten spiritually, making them aware that someone or something is draining their life force, so that they can really perhaps put up the castle wall for a little bit. Right, get into their creative Cancerian feels about all of this, but being lit by the sunlight, making the choice and the decision to follow their spirit and not compromise it, understanding that they are rewiring the nervous system, finding strength in just surviving their traumas. So no matter what anybody else comes at them horizontally, they can go vertical and say, you know what, I'm still here. Good times and bum times, I've seen it all, and my dear, I'm still here. I just Elaine stretched you. Follies, right? Follies, bygones. So that they may heal, they may grow, they may become the best that they can be, aligning their chakras from 8th chakra to root, to align their spiritual power, their psychological power, their physical power, their visionary intuition, bringing it down and into their creative intuition, to bring it into the survival world, healing themselves, healing others, and ultimately through the unity consciousness, and that is 5th dimensional oneness, healing all of us for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Oh yeah. It's a really powerful read, Scorps. Am I gonna do that forever now? I guess I get a kick out of it when I'm editing it. Wow, really, really cool read. Now look, I do these readings for people all the time, work, career, vocation reads, particularly after the past year and whatever, 3-4 months. So if you want, reach out, go read my book, Words of Grace. I think you'll find a lot in there that would absolutely pertain to this, particularly the 3rd chakra chapter, which is in alignment with summer solstice, which is Father's Day, and I'm going to be putting out some stuff on the road, right, while I'm up there visiting about all of that. I'm getting some videos prepared to just have released while I'm driving. So how wonderful a reading this is for you. So if you liked it, like it, want to share it with the Scorpio, might be dealing with it, don't send it to the vampire, they're not going to see it. But by all means do check out the video, Vampires and Witches. I will do my best to remember while I'm cleaning my house for a friend to come visit and house it and cat sit, so I can pack up and go see my family who I miss dearly, who thankfully are not the vampiric side of the family, but the fun Hera and Zeus that I love so much. So wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed, my beloved Scorpios. Have at it. Walk softly and carry a sharpened stick. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.